Oh, good, it works. Before I start, I need to get something off my chest. It may seem petty, but I promise you this is something that really gets under my skin, and I need to share it right now. Okay. If I look horrendous in a dress and I ask you how I look in it, I don't want, oh, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, or Kaylee, wow, your hair looks amazing. No, you need to tell me this dress is bad and that I probably should throw it out. But reality is, everyone says these lies, these little white lies. Easily top 5 pet peeves. Now, these lies may seem insignificant at first, but when it comes to the real world and slightly more serious situations, they can add up to something that holds a lot more weight. Soon, it's nearly impossible to discern the big lies from the little lies, and then the truth from all the lies. And so we find ourselves in the real zeitgeist of today, the post-truth world, as we call it. To quote Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Now, or worse yet, we slipped into the abyss of having no ledge of truth to hang on to. According to the Oxford Dictionary, post-truth is an adjective that defines something relating to or denoting circumstances in which objective facts are less influential in shaping public opinion than appeals to emotion and personal belief. So essentially, we're ignoring how the facts tell the story and instead towards how emotions tell it instead. And by doing this, we're sharing stories that stray from the truth and are twisted in favor of someone's beliefs or their practices. But how does this happen so easily when we can go on Google and find all the facts we could ever need? A professor at the University of Massachusetts Amherst has answered this question for us. Great guy. This study tested how quickly people abandon videos while they're loading. 50% of people don't wait for more than 10 seconds before they choose to give up on waiting. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, 10 seconds, that's a little much. With this type of impatience, we're like, forget the whole story. I'll just see what this headline says and call it a day. Disclaimer, you can't be caught up with American politics in a single headline. It doesn't work like that. Another reason false information is spread so easily involves a growing number of people who just don't take the time to read. According to a study done by the Pew Research Center and the Gallup News Service, the number of people that don't read a book during the year has increased by 14% in only 38 years. Now, it's understandable how, by all this information we receive daily, we feel overwhelmed. I mean, not too long ago, people got their news from newspapers in the morning, and then from TV at 6 p.m. sharp every day. This schedule pressed all the newspapers to share the correct news because they had the entire day to collect all the data and information needed to make an entire news story. But today, news networks have the ability to do 24-hour coverage of events happening across the world. The problem with this is that when you're constantly on air for 24 hours, the story is told bit by bit without all the facts and data together all at once. This exposes us to the possibility of sharing news that isn't completely accurate or may even be completely wrong. Our social networks work exactly the same way. News networks like CNN and Fox News are always racing to be the first network to cover the story on social media. They are very, very aware of the audience they can reach in 140 characters in a video link on Twitter. And then, on top of these tweets, we're guilty of confirmation bias. Researchers from The Ohio State University did a study in 2009 that tested the effect of confirmation bias on how we gather information. They took about 150 people and surveyed how they felt about politics, their political attitudes, and their opinions on 4 key issues. Then the participants were sent to browse an online forum with articles that had opposing views on those 4 key issues. The software they were using recorded how long each person spent when reading an article. when the participant agreed with an article's perspective, they spent about 36% more time reading that article. Interesting. Now, I've laid out all the issues we have, but what we're really missing are our solutions. I was planning on surprising you with the solution slide that I made, but you guys saw it a bit ahead of time. Thankfully, though, I have written this all out, all nice and neat and simple, so we can run it through. Problem number 1, impatience. Take the time to do your own research. Don't retweet a headline because @WokeWendy tweeted that the world is ending at 12 p.m. tomorrow. Don't panic. Don't make everyone else panic because you did the sharing before you did the reading. Problem number 2, the overabundance of information. One sweet but not so sweet thing about 24 hours news coverage is that you can check in at any time. So easily you can check in every few hours to get the full correct story instead of sharing bits and pieces. Finally, problem number 3, dealing with social media. One way to combat confirmation bias is with skepticism. Follow people you may not agree with. Question all the information you receive. This will challenge the way you form your opinions and go about living in this society today. And it's okay to slow things down. In this fast-paced society we live in, it's really easy to let simple habits go, like picking up a book and reading it, or researching something we really care a lot about. Now, it definitely is easier to read a headline than scroll through an article, but these little things are what helps us be a better community, better society in school, at home, in our neighborhood, everywhere. These false stories and false information are hurting our society way faster than the truth is being spread. So don't fall into the hashtag bandwagon. For example, remember Kony 2012? You or your parents had to donate to this cause for the invisible children in Central Africa, and you got like a poster, a sticker, and in some cases, nothing at all. Whatever happened to Kony, I'll tell you what happened to Kony. Nothing. And nobody even noticed because we lost interest anyway. So I should probably end this speech talking about Orwell. As you all know, his classic novel, 1984, is again a bestseller because of this post-truth phenomenon that he seemed to have predicted in the middle of the last century. But I won't talk about Orwell. I won't double-speak. Because, to be honest, I don't really remember much of that novel. I got distracted about 100 pages in. And if I pretended to talk about it, it would be lying. So let's just be real and stick with the truth. Thank you.